Ba-ba-bum. All right. Well, good morning, everybody. This is Sherman Ray, and this is the Livin in Vegas podcast. Time to get this show started, shall we? Oh, very interesting. Hey, folks, this is Sherman Ray, and this is the Livin in Vegas podcast. I want to welcome you all, folks, to a fabulous hump day in the middle of the week in the city of Las Vegas. And I want to welcome all the folks that are joining us on our Facebook feeds and YouTube, and of course, our new feed over at Spotify, which is real cool. And I think we even have a new page over on Facebook on our Livin Weekly. So the Livin Weekly magazine. So we're actually starting that now too. So a lot of stuff cool, a lot of moving parts, which is incredibly fun to be a part of. And I want to welcome you all to being a part of the show. If you have any questions, please just let me know, because we talk about the people, the places, the trends, and the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. And this is going to be no different, folks. We're kind of a weird morning starting this morning. As a matter of fact, I don't have my earpiece in. I'm gonna try to put this in while we're doing the show, because if not, I won't be able to hear the show. I'll be kind of limping around. That's what they call it. Yeah. So I'm gonna turn this off and then turn on some other things. Um, Hopefully, folks, that you've actually checked out our magazine so far, Livin in Vegas magazine. I know. Some of you are saying, Sherm, you said you were going to change the graphic. I didn't yet. I'm so sorry that I've not changed the graphic yet, but we will. I was really busy yesterday with a lot of things with the magazine, the new magazine coming out, which is coming out in April. So I was not able to do that yet, but I will, folks. Don't worry. I'll get the new graphic out, and you'll actually be able to check that out. But until then, you can actually see the magazine at livininvegas.com. That's livininvegas.com. And you can download it. Or let's say you just don't want to, you don't want to take the time. You're on the go. Some of you are really busy. Send me an email at info@livininvegas.com, and we'll be able to send that directly to you via email. Okay, and really, what we'll do is we'll add you to our mailing list, and you can actually check that out, which is it's always fun. I mean, it really is. I think it's fun. Let's see here. We got to make sure we're on, because something happened this morning and I could not get the graphics together, and it's been happening like the last couple of days here where I've not been able to get graphics to come up. So I want to make sure, because if not, I'll be very, very upset about that. Also, folks, we've got a mixer coming up, and it's called The Happy Hour, and it's over at the Horse Trailer Hideout. It's at 1506 South Main Street over on fabulous downtown Las Vegas. That's right, folks. I mean, it's fun. I mean, if you want to have a good time, this is where you want to be at. April 7th, which is in another little over a week, where you can actually come out and check out this show, and check out the happy hour, and that's always fun. I mean, I really do. I enjoy going to these events for one reason, because I love people, love hanging out with people, and so it's always fun for me to go out there and just kind of hang out and just kind of hang out with folks, and so that's what I do. But if you would like to be a part of the happy hour, below me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up putting below me a link to the happy hour. So I know you didn't see what I was doing here, did you? I hit that. I left the graphic up there for extra long, because I'm putting in like my earbud and stuff like that, because I started the show without it, so I couldn't hear the show. So below me, I'm going to actually put the link to the show, or to the event. Matter of fact, I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to do it right now. I know I generally don't do this, because it takes time away from the show. And now that we're up on our podcast over at Spotify, I am more conscious of our time constraints. And let's make sure I can actually even sign in. Oh my gosh. Let's see if it'll let me do that. So, um, but we definitely want to um, make sure that you're able to register for the event. Because what happened is, for some reason, this event, no one has been able to register for it. And I know we've had hundreds of people register for our events, and so for some reason it did not happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put the link right below me. I'm going to do it right now. I'll start. So there you go. We'll put it there, and then I'm going to put it on our business page, so you'll actually be able to check that out there because it's always cool to have it there. So, and if you want to be a part of the happy hour, all you got to do is actually go to that link. So the link is up on the three pages that we generally are, and this is really cool. So we've just started uploading the podcast to our new Livin Weekly page. And I know it's the first time, nobody even knows the page is up yet. So I'm going to put this up right now. And so, yeah, it's up. All right. So, lastly, there's a, if you are a business owner and you want to do some advertising, we've got a special announcement for you. Here it goes. Hi, everybody. It's Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast. Are you a business owner that's looking to get the word out about his product, service, or even just a great message out there? Well, we'd like to give you that opportunity by being a guest on Livin in Vegas podcast. It's super simple. All you've got to do is contact us at advertising@livininvegas.com. That's advertising@livininvegas.com, and we'll schedule you for an interview on Livin in Vegas podcast. I'm Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, and the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. All right, and thank you, folks, for we have so many announcements now, but I'm trying to go through these as quickly as I can. If you are a business owner and you would like to help underwrite the podcast, because now we're actually on even more stations right now, and we'll probably be even more coming up pretty quick. All you have to do, and you want to be an underwriter, you're limited on your budget. We've got some special pricing for you to be a part of the podcast. So that's really important, especially moving out of the pandemic, that you get back in the game and you start advertising and letting people know about your business. And so just send us an email at advertising@livininvegas.com. That's advertising@livininvegas.com, and you will be able to check that out. And I mentioned something before, that we actually have a new weekly that's coming out, and it's called Livin Weekly. So it's called Livin Weekly. And Livin Weekly, or Livin Weekly magazine, is going to coming out once a week. So there's so many things that happen in the Valley. Man, I mean, just a lot of stuff happens. And a lot of people have been saying, man, I can't keep up with this stuff, and by the time the magazine comes out, that there's other things that are going on. So we decided that we were going to come out with a weekly magazine, or a weekly platform that would talk about all the cool people, places, events, and trends that are going on in the city. And so it's called Livin Weekly. And if you are on our mailing list, you will actually get this once a week. So once a week, you'll actually automatically get that update. If not, you really need to request it. Okay, you really need to request it, and especially if you want to advertise and you want to be a part of something that comes out once a week, you definitely want to check us out. Let us know that you want to be a part of that, and really all you've got to do is send me an email. Send that email to info@livininvegas.com. That's info@livininvegas.com. We just set up a page for it. And so we'll actually have the website. It'll be up probably in the next couple of days, where it'll be Livin Weekly. And you can just go to livinweekly.com, and it'll take you right to the webpage where you'll get all those updates and stuff like that. So anyways, very excited about Livin Weekly, and it's just it's going to be fun. It's just going to be so much fun to actually have stuff coming out on a weekly basis. It'll come out every Saturday, something like that, and you can check out all the happening events that are going to be going on in the weekend. We actually might move that to Friday, I guess. So you can check out all the events that are going on the weekend, that kind of stuff. It's going to be so every week. Livin Weekly. Okay. All right. So, once again, just send me an email at info@livinginvegas.com. All right. So what's going on in the Valley? So there's a group of kids over at this school, and the school is called Pinecrest Academy, Sloan Canyon, and it's a kind of a private school. And when they started this school up, the parents and the administrator said, "Hey, what we'll do is we'll start a robotics program for the kids." And when they started this robotics program, they thought, well, it's just something kind of fun for the kids to do. Wrong. And what they found out is that these kids were really good at robotics. So good at robotics that they actually started winning competitions for the robotics. And their last one that they won, they qualified for the World Robotics Championships in Dallas, Texas, in May. This is cool stuff. So now they're looking for money. So they've got to raise money now to get to Texas. And we want to leave the link if you'd like to help these kids. Once again, this is Pinecrest Academy, Sloan Canyon, and they are looking for some cash to help them get to Texas for the World Robotics Championships. Very cool. Congratulations, kids. You did a great job. I wish I would have known this yesterday because I was doing my my William Shatner imitation yesterday, and I could have done my William Shatner imitation. So we'll leave the link to on our website for these kids because they're doing such a fantastic job, and we want to encourage them to continue doing all the stuff that they do, which is cool. So there's some friends of mine, and oh gosh, I'm so excited for these guys. Tiffany Bisco, who's the owner and creator of Tiabi Coffee and Waffles. And how do I know these guys? I know these guys because I used to own a coffee shop, and I've spoken with Tiffany a few times. Well, Friday is International Waffle Day. Okay, I know. There's a new day every week. So Friday is International Waffle Day, and they're going to celebrate it by Tiabi Coffee and Waffles, partnering with the Fire and Rescue Paramedic and Burn Foundation for a waffle eating competition. I know. Like, you don't even need to have a competition. People just try to do it anyways. That's just the way they are. And so for every waffle they eat, $10 will be donated to the organization. And so Tiabi, I think, has actually got 2 locations now. I know they used to have one over off of near the university. When I met them, I think the other one is actually, I think they're over off of like, oh gosh, where's it at? It's way up there, like Azure and Centennial or something like that. So I'll check it out. But we'll leave a link to that if you want to go out to Tiabi and check out some waffle eating. Isn't it? Now, who needs a competition to eat waffles? I'll eat them anyways, okay? I just don't need a competition for that. Anytime I get an excuse, all I need is an excuse to eat a waffle, okay? And I'm a foodie, folks, so you don't have to get me going. All right. So there was a story that came out recently about many of you remember this Secret of Siam. Yeah, Secret of Siam. It's a local place down, in Chinatown, and they a couple of weeks back, people started complaining about feeling kind of sick, and some cases felt kind of stoned because they'd just eaten their food to the point where a couple of people actually had to go to the hospital. One of them, when they got their tox screen back, said, "Hey, you got elevated levels of THC in your system. Somebody sent you a roofie, right? Somebody, got you put a Mickey uh, your Kung Pao chicken. Well, they actually the health department was called, police were called, people were filing all kinds of complaints about Secret of Siam, and they actually closed the place down to investigate these people. No, they said people were getting sick, and it wasn't one or two people. Now it actually the number went up to dozens of people. So dozens of people were sick in this thing. Well, they did an investigation, and the police department basically said, "Hey, it there was no criminal intent by Secret of Siam. Okay, that it must have been a third party who put this THC or pot or whatever in the food." So we're very happy about that because they said that there's. It was kind of like this story that happened yesterday, where a guy sued a local brewery here in town, and he sued them because he ingested. And I don't know if I did the story yesterday or not. We do so many stories. He ingested beer. I went to the beer place. They said, "Hey, check out our new beer." Woohoo! Yeah, check out our new beer. He tasted the new beer, and when he tried the new beer, he starts vomiting, convulsing, burning, itching in his mouth, everything else. Come to find out that the lines for the beer tap had been cleaned, and it still had some stuff in some of the cleaning solution in the lines. Oh my gosh, yeah, that stuff's poisonous. It'll kill you, right? Well, of course, the guy sues the brewery, finds some attorneys that will find, you know, that would sue him, and they said that the place did it maliciously. They knew that this was going on. Whether they did or not, I don't know. I just don't think that people are just. I mean, people have got some issues, but I don't think anybody really does that. I may be wrong, but somehow or another, I don't think that's happening. Anyways, the guy wins $8 million. Secret of Siam, same way. They said, "Look, folks, we do not think they did this maliciously. There's just no way that these guys did this maliciously," and so we're very excited about that. That they're just, they're doing some good stuff. I really do. So, what else is going on? Oh, yes. All right, so we're gonna move over just a little bit. I'm gonna do a little sports, okay? Because this is probably one of the most exciting pieces of news that we've had in a long time. Now, you guys know I love UNLV. Yes, I know. When you watch this show, you're probably going to hear a lot about UNLV, just because they're the best. They're just the best. Well, guess what? That's right. UNLV's men's swimming team will be represented on the big stage in Atlanta this week as its 400 freestyle or 400 free relay squad competes in the 2022 NCAA championship. Ha! Very cool. So today through Saturday, they're going to be out there at Macaulay Aquatic Center. We could win a national championship. Can you, folks? I don't know. What else are we going to do here? So, I know I'm getting excited here, but the reason why is because UNLV is on fire. Our university is kicking butt, taking names, and we're not even asking for their names. We're really not even asking for names. We're just kicking butt. Okay? So, congratulations, guys. So, that's George Ratiu alongside Brian Chavez, Richard Schluzgai, and Reese Hammonds. Boy, I need to have some different names here. Oh, no, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. They have the pool. The national championship meets final event during Saturday's final session, 3 p.m. We are ranked number 19 nationally, which is just fantastic. 400 free relay, qualifying time of 2 minutes, 50 seconds. Very cool. So very excited about the fact that UNLV is doing some great things. And all of a sudden people want to send me notes. Really very right in that, I'm right in the middle of a podcast here. They're still sending me notes. So So we're very excited about the fact that UNLV is doing some fantastic things, um, and you really can't ask for much more than that. You really can't. A relay team, they softball's doing good. Our girls baseball, or excuse me, basketball doing good. Softball doing awesome, and we're doing some great things. Um, while we're talking about sports, let's talk about our Golden Knights. Okay. Oh gosh. All right. So Golden Knights um, got blanked by the Jets. Okay. Yeah, I know. Nashville just, gosh. Excuse me. I shouldn't say Nashville. Winnipeg. Winnipeg beat them 4-zip Tuesday night at Canada Life Center. Golly. So we're just folks, we're just having a bad stretch of luck here in the last few weeks. Unfortunately, that is not going to do us any good for the playoffs as they're coming up pretty quick. This might be the first time in our history that we don't make the playoffs. Okay, so I'm just trying to set you up right now. I don't think it's going to you know interfere with our fan base because the fan base for the Golden Knights is really pretty strong. But we're just having a bad time. We've got a lot of people that are hurt. We made a lot of trades, and some of the trades we've got, those guys are now doing great, right? Isn't that the way it always is? It's the way it always is. Where you trade your guys and they end up becoming champions and stuff like that. So, what are you gonna do? So, what do you? I don't. What are you gonna do? Oh, let's. So let me make an announcement really quick here. Um, if you would like to receive our new publication, so we got a new publication that's coming out, and it's called the Weekly. So, can I bring that up? Yeah, there it goes. Livin Weekly. So, Livin Weekly is for those folks who just cannot wait for the Livin in Vegas magazine to come out. There's Livin Weekly magazine. Okay, so Livin, it's the weekly magazine. So it's coming out on a weekly basis because some folks just cannot wait till the Livin in Vegas magazine comes out in April. So we decided, hey, we're going to create something that's going to hopefully soothe your insatiable need to find out what's going on in the valley. So you have to write to us. If you're already on our mailing list, you will actually receive this automatically, and you'll see updates on that. If you are not on our mailing list, okay, and you would like to see this, either you go to our website. You can actually go to Livin Weekly, so livinweekly.com. Um, and it's not up yet, so don't worry about it. It won't be up yet. Give me a couple of days, and we'll actually have that up. Or you can actually send me an email. So send me an email to info@livininvegas.com. Okay, info@livininvegas.com. And we will actually put you on our mailing list so you actually get a copy of this. It's free, and it's going to have some great stuff in it where you can actually find out what's going on in the valley, all the cool things that are going on. There's so much going on, and we'll actually even leave a link to our podcast in it, so you can actually get to our podcast, which goes out every day, which is great. And it's our new publication. We're very excited about this, folks. As a matter of fact, I was talking to Gilda and Knapp about this, and they do know about it, folks. so so they're very excited about being able to bring this to you. If you would like to advertise in Livin, our weekly magazine, definitely get a hold of us at info@livininvegas.com and make that very easy for you to actually be a part of that. Okay? All right. So, do I have much time for one more? Oh, yeah, okay. Plenty of time. Okay, so let's take that down. What else is going on? Oh, there's this guy who is a lawyer. Okay, and I just got to put this out there. I mean, I hate doing these kind of stories because they're tough. They talk about the darker side of you know some of the people that are hanging out in Vegas. But Las Vegas attorney who was shot and wounded before his arrest by FBI agents for heading a $300 million Ponzi scheme. Facing a class action lawsuit. This guy's name is Matthew Beasley, and he said he allegedly persuaded his investors in a company and assured investors 10 to 20% returns every 2 months. All right, so here's the deal. Anyways, they're going to sue him. So all these people are suing him for their money. They want their money back. Okay. So here's some advice for you folks who are getting involved in stuff like this. If somebody says we'll give you 10 to 20% back every 2 months, and it sounds too good to be true, probably is. Okay, that's all there is to it. So this guy, hopefully, will get his, and they'll take care of him. And it's a tough one. Okay, so Matthew Beasley, bad boy, being a bad boy. So there was also a story that was out just recently about the short-term rentals here in Las Vegas. And we've talked about this a few times about the short-term rental situation here. So what are short-term rentals? So really what it is you say to yourself, hey, guess what? I've got this, a couple extra rooms in my house. Kids are all gone. I'm going to rent out my place to, some traveling salesman so that he can sell his, can of tunas to, people here in Vegas. Okay. We've had those since there has been man. Since there's been homes, there's been short-term rentals where people rent out their stuff. Well, here in the city of Las Vegas, they legalized it. The county did not. And the county said, hey, guess what? We're going to talk about it a little bit more. And then a couple months later, they said, okay, we're going to legalize short-term rentals here in the county also. And with stipulations, same thing as a city, you have to have, you have to live as the owner, you actually have to live there. It can only be 3 bedrooms, that kind of stuff, blah, 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 blah. Well, people have been abusing it. And now the amount of money you're paying for the short-term rentals is driving up the rental market here in the valley. What does that mean? That means people who normally could rent out a place for $700, $800 a month, now it's like $1,500, $1,800 average here in the city of Las Vegas. It's because so now they're actually having a debate on this in the county. Should they have more short-term rentals? Should they not? How are they going to regulate this? How stringent can they be about this? So there was an article out, and we'll leave links to all this stuff, folks, so you don't have to worry about remembering all this. People are starting to say, is this a good thing for any place? And it's not even though that it's not going to happen. It's going to always happen. So that's the issue. It's always going to happen. You're always going to have people who are going to rent out their extra room. The problem with it is a couple of things. One's the price, like we already discussed. Number two, literally the nuisance that people who rent out these units are. Because not everybody is a traveling salesman who wants to sell his, possum fat to, the local possum store down the street. Okay, a lot of these people come in and they're party animals. They come into Vegas for a weekend because they want to see all kinds of things that go on in Vegas. So, as a matter of fact, when I first heard about short-term rentals, I was running for city council, and I went and drove down near the Rancho Circle area, over off Alta and, that area, Valley View. There were, I kid you not, in the Rancho Circle area, over in that area, over off Campbell and Alta, that kind of stuff, 50, 60 cars. Up and down the street, and you could tell they were there for a reason. They took up the entire block, and nose to tail, all the way around the corner. And as you kind of drove around looking for the beginning of this, oh, there it was. There was the beginning of it. And you know how I knew the house that it was at? People were passed out on the lawn. In Rancho Circle area. Not Rancho Circle, just outside of Rancho Circle, in that Alta Campbell area. That's a nuisance. That's kind of the way it is. Okay. Anyways, we've got to go. So let me make a real special announcement, and we'll make an announcement again on this in the next couple of days. We are going to have Nikki Fargas on the show for the podcast. She'll be here next week, next Wednesday. And if nothing changes, Nikki Fargas is the president of the Las Vegas Aces. She's right now a commentator for the NCAA tournament for the women. So excited about this. So I'm very excited about having her on the show. So next week, folks, Nikki Fargas will be on the show. Okay. Anyways, it's been Sherman Ray for the Livin in Vegas podcast. I want to thank you for being a part of the show. We'll see you again tomorrow, where we'll talk about the people, places, trends, and the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. We'll see you later, folks.